Welcome to this video produced by the Fern support team, providing all users with a refresh and update on how Fern can support a safe return to play through health questionnaires and contact tracing records. In this video, we'll cover submitting a health questionnaire for yourself, submitting a health questionnaire on behalf of someone else, reconfirming a previously submitted health questionnaire, and viewing health questionnaires as a team coach or organiser or as a club-wide COVID supervisor. Before looking at the steps involved in submitting, reconfirming or viewing health questionnaires, it's important to note that a health questionnaire must be submitted for each individual prior to any training or match, and everyone is also required to complete the online e-learning module and retain a copy of their certificate of completion. More information regarding the GAA e-learning module can be found on the e-learning portal at www.learning.gaa.ie. The first thing anyone looking to submit a health questionnaire needs to do is log in. Hopefully, most people will have done that already in the process of completing registrations, but if not, navigate to www.fern.ie, enter your username and password and click login. The same username and password set up last year for Return to Play will log you into Fern. If you have forgotten your username or password, the two links on the login page will allow you to reset either. Simply click on the one that applies and follow the on-screen instructions. Resetting your username will result in an email being sent to the email address you enter, listing all the usernames associated with that email address. To reset a password, you need to make sure you know the username for the account for which the password is being reset. If you are coming to Fern for the first time and you didn't create an account on the Return to Play system last year, then the first thing you will have to do is create your Foireann account and profile by clicking on the register button on the login page. More information on creating your Foireann account can be found on the Foireann Help Centre, also available via the login page. Once you've logged in, you are now able to submit a health questionnaire either for yourself or for someone else. Submitting a questionnaire for someone else will usually be for a child or other dependent whose account is linked to yours via a family in Fern, or it could be for someone who might need some assistance completing the online form. Start by simply scrolling to the bottom of your homepage where you will see the health questionnaire section. At this stage, it will likely be empty, but to create and add your first questionnaire, simply click on the Add New button to open the Add New Health Questionnaire window. Before responding to the 5 key health-related questionnaires, you have to indicate who the questionnaire you are submitting relates to, as well as the relevant club and team. If submitting a health questionnaire for yourself, simply select the Me option, pick your club from the drop-down. Only clubs your profile is linked to will be available in this drop-down, and then finally pick the team that this questionnaire relates to. Remember, if you're involved with more than one team, you will have to submit a health questionnaire for each. Only teams that your club has created on Fern will appear in this drop-down, so if you aren't able to see the team that you want to submit a questionnaire for, speak to the club administrator or member of the club executive. Now that this has been done, you can move on to the 5 health-related questions. It's really important that these questions are answered accurately, as a yes to any of them could indicate that you have COVID-19 and you should stay at home and contact your GP by phone for further advice. After reading the information at the bottom of the form, and providing you're happy to do so, tick the box to say that you understand and confirm, and then click Submit. Once submitted, your health questionnaire will be visible to anyone with COVID Supervisor privileges for your club, i.e. team-specific, such as coaches or organisers, or club-wide COVID Supervisors. You will now also be able to see this and all of your health questionnaires via your homepage. If you're submitting a health questionnaire on behalf of someone else, then it's essentially the exact same process, with the only differences coming at the very start of the health questionnaire form, where you indicate who the questionnaire relates to. At the top of the form, instead of selecting the Me option, you select Someone Else, which will then enable 2 additional drop-down boxes. The first one of these is optional and will only be used if the questionnaire you are submitting is for someone whose profile is linked with yours via a family that has been set up on Fern. Once you select Someone Else, a blue notification will appear advising you that the easiest way to manage health questionnaires for others is to add them to your family. There is also a link to the family section of Fern where you can create or edit your family. If you haven't done any of this yet, you can find more information and guidance on the steps involved on the Foireann Help Centre. If selecting someone from a family, then after selecting the relevant family, the next drop down will allow you to select the person from that family that this questionnaire relates to. If you are submitting a health questionnaire on behalf of someone who isn't part of your family on Fern, then you should select someone else from the family member drop down. Doing this will then reveal 2 further text boxes where you can enter the first name and surname of the person this questionnaire relates to. You can then move through the following steps as before, selecting the relevant club and teams before answering the 5 health related questions, digitally signing the form and submitting it to the club. When selecting the club for someone else, it's important to note that if this person is a part of your family, then only clubs that their profiles are associated with will be available in the club drop-down. If the person is not from your family and you are entering their name manually, then the clubs that your own profile is associated with will be available in this drop-down. With that in mind, please make sure that the correct club is being selected when submitting a questionnaire for someone else. Once you have submitted a health questionnaire, whether for you or for someone else, it's available to be reconfirmed within a period of 14 days, providing all the answers remain the same. After this 14-day period, without it having been reconfirmed, the questionnaire would be deleted and a new one would have to be created and submitted again if, as and when required. Reconfirming a questionnaire can be done via the homepage where 12 hours after the questionnaire was first submitted or last reconfirmed, a Reconfirm This button will appear. Clicking the Reconfirm This button essentially tells your club that the answers on your health questionnaire remain the same. Doing this will also restart the 12 hours before the same questionnaire can be reconfirmed again, and will also restart the 14-day period that the questionnaire will be available for reconfirmation. Once a health questionnaire has been submitted to a club, it can be viewed by anyone with COVID Supervisor access on Fern. The simplest way of getting access to this and in reviewing health questionnaires is to be added to a team as either a coach or organiser. This can be done by any of the club admins or by a coach that has already been added to the team on Fern. Any coach or team organiser will, as part of their role-based system privileges, have team-specific COVID Supervisor access, meaning they can see the active declarations submitted by anyone from that team and their status. If green, then that person is cleared to play or be involved in that specific team event, whereas if amber, the club needs to take appropriate measures to ensure that all necessary COVID-19 protocols are followed. Attendance can also be recorded via this team event page, which not only helps with team management and administration overall, but is also a vital part of the COVID-19 safety measures for the purposes of contact tracing should the need arise. While this new functionality makes it much easier for clubs to assign COVID supervisors directly, as well as for COVID supervisors to check health questionnaire submissions, the same COVID supervisor functionality that existed on the Return to Play system in 2020 still remains. This functionality gives anyone with club-wide COVID supervisor access, which can only be assigned by the Fern support team, visibility of all the health questionnaires that have been submitted to a club. Highlighting one of the main benefits of having team-specific COVID supervisors in place via team coaches or organisers, anyone with club-wide COVID supervisor access could potentially have visibility of hundreds of questionnaires. These would all be visible along with their own questionnaires via their homepage, but using the filters in the top right hand corner of the health questionnaire section will make this list a little easier to navigate. It's also possible for attendance to be recorded here, again helping for any contact tracing that might have to be conducted should the need arise. Don't forget to check out the Foireann Help Centre for more user information and guidance on how Fern can support a safe return to play for everyone, including a useful return to play FAQ section, as well as guidance and information on all other parts of the Fern system.